أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Tonight in our discussion we're going to answer $1,000,000 question. But before that, Kushali Mubarak to everyone on the wiladat of our 8th Imam, Imam Ali ibn Musa Rida alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So what is this $1,000,000 question, I hear you ask? Who is the richest man in the world and in the akhirah? To answer this question, I'm going to split it into two. Who is the richest man in the world? Who is the richest man in the akhirah? Now, before I tell you who the richest man in the world is, I'm going to share with you a story, an incident that happened when I went to Iran a few years back. When I was in the haram, I was with a local over there, and we said our salam to Imam Rida. And then randomly he asked me, who do you think is the richest man in the world? Firstly, I thought that was a bit strange to ask such a question when we're here in Ziyarah. And secondly, when I thought about it, I thought of the obvious people. Is it Bill Gates? Is it Richard Branson? Is it all these people that we hear, they have lots and lots and lots of money? He actually said, did you know the richest man in the world is the person that we're looking at? The person that we've come to visit? Imam Rida alayhi salam. I said, really? How is that even possible? He's passed away, he doesn't have any business. And he actually told me that all these properties and all the land that's around the haram, at least, they are all owned by Imam Rida. And all of these companies that are around, buildings, they all pay rent to Imam Rida. And someone told me that the total wealth of all of this is actually more than some of the small countries around the world. So that was really, really eye-opening for me. That the true richest man in the world, when you look at it monetary-wise, is actually Imam Rida. Now with the second question. Who is the richest man in the akhirah? We've all heard that everyone is equal and one can only be better in piety or in good deeds. Otherwise, everyone is on a level playing field. Let me share with you a quick story from Imam Rida's lifetime that shows us that everyone is actually equal. Regardless of what people say, regardless of what people think. We see around the world what's happening nowadays. People treating others worse than each other. So Imam Rida once was, he went for a trip to Khurasan. He ordered his people, or he told his people to make preparations for a meal and invite his guests around. And he invited all the attendants, and there were people from from different places around the world and from different ethnicities. One of his companions said that, may I be sacrificed for you, Ya Imam? But maybe those people from that particular ethnicity, from that particular race, maybe they should have a separate table. Maybe they should have a separate room. And Imam told him, remember, we are all one. We all come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We all have one father, Prophet Adam. We all have one mother, Bibi Hawa. And we are all the same. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to reward each and every one of us based on our deeds. So our value in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's eyes are based on our deeds. Not on how much money we have. Not on what color we are. Not on where we are from. It's all about our deeds. And that, remember, is the best thing that we can take from tonight and to be able to have a very successful life. That is the one thing we should remember. That we are all judged based on our deeds and not where we're from. So, based on the story, when we see Imam sitting on the table with people from different races and different backgrounds, he is teaching us a lesson. He is telling us that everyone is equal regardless of what they do. I want to give a couple of quick examples from this current situation that we're in. As we all know, the whole COVID situation has brought people in lockdown. Everyone's quarantined at home. But there are a few people that are needed. They're called the key workers. So regardless of where they are from and what they do, there are a few people that we need. So for example, we are sitting at home all day, eating our junk food, playing our games, doing our work, reciting our Quran, listening to our parents. But what happens naturally is when, as we're consuming food, our crisp packets, our orange peels, all of that is gathering. And then what happens is it becomes quite a bit. And then once a week, we see our dustbin man come and take all the rubbish. But imagine, we were locked down for 2.5, 3 months. Imagine for 2.5 or 3 months, our dustbin was not collected. What would have been the state of our house? What would have been the state of our bins? They would have been overflowing. There would have been a bad smell coming out from it. That goes to show that a dustbin man is very, very important to our lives. What I would consider when I'm walking and going about in my day-to-day life, I see a dustbin man and I don't think twice about him. Okay, he's doing his job. Sometimes I may even look down at him because he's a dustbin collector. But this COVID situation has actually reminded me that dustbin men are very, very important in my life. That's why we need to think about people and look at people as equal rather than look down at people. Or another situation that comes to mind is, you know, that picture that went around of the cleaner in Mecca praying alone in front of the Kaaba. Now just imagine, that is a situation that I would have loved to be in, that I would have gone to great extent to be in. Being alone in front of the Kaaba, just me and my Lord. How amazing is that feeling? And a cleaner, that when we go to Kaaba, we see plenty of cleaners in their blue clothes, and we see how they're treated sometimes, and sometimes we don't even treat them well. But that cleaner was the most lucky person to be able to get that opportunity. So in his eyes, in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's eyes, that was the best person at that time. So a question we ask is, who is the best of us in Akhirah? So let's see what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran as to who is the best of us. There is a verse in the Holy Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, the best of you in the eyes of Allah is the one who has the most taqwa. What is taqwa? Taqwa is God-wariness. The ones who think about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in everything that they do good actions all the time. And as a result, Imam alayhi salam has shown us that we need to treat everyone equal, even if he's your close family member. Remember the Holy Prophet, the Imams, when we see their lives, they did not favor their family. Everyone was equal. There's a story that once Imam went to the public bath, and he was having his public bath, and a person who did not recognize him, he asked the Imam to give him a massage, and Imam happily obliged. Now, I was just thinking about this, that if it was me, and if I was the caliph of the time, or if I was the king of the time, and I was there in the public bath, and someone asked me to give him a massage, I would have probably told him, do you know who I am? Or I would have, instead of doing that, I would have told one of my servants to give him a massage. But Imam did not say anything and happily obliged and gave him a massage. Then a while later, someone comes in who recognizes the Imam and tells the person, do you know who is giving a massage? Once he was told that it was the Imam, he got very shy and told him to stop. And in fact, he gave the Imam a massage. So the lesson that we can learn over here is that we need to be humble and we need to treat each other with respect and equally, regardless of our status in community, regardless of how much money we have, regardless of where we're from. Everyone is equal in the eyes of Allah, except those who do good and are God conscious. One thing that we can learn from this, how do we practically implement what we've just learned? There is a golden rule that will really help us, and something that if we think about all the time, it will really make us progress in life and become the best people in this world and in the Akhirah. And that golden rule is to treat others the way we would like to be treated. Just the way we would like to be treated, like royalty, like the most important people, everyone looking after us. We should be treating others that way. So remember, every single thing that we do in life, every single thing that we think about doing or want to do, we should think about, will I like to be treated with what I'm planning on doing. So for example, if I want to do something, I stop and think that, is this a good thing? Is this something that I would want someone to do on me? If the answer is yes, then by all means go and do it, and do it with abundance and a lot of joy and happiness. But if there's something bad, then we need to ask ourselves. If it's something bad, we need to ask ourselves that, is it something that I would like or appreciate? If the answer is no, then I should make sure that I don't do it. So with this small practical lesson, let's try and treat each other with respect and as equals, just so that we can make sure that we thrive and become the best in this world and in the akhirah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.